Good morning, traders. I'm not sure what was going on there. I was having a hard time getting the stream to launch. I just started over. So we are actually literally like 40 seconds away from the market open. We had some news this morning which did move the market, but not quite as much as people would have thought, and probably not in the same direction you might have thought. But it did move up, and it's retraced most of that, minus the initial spike down, but most of this gain has been recovered. I was hoping to get a retracement into this fair value gap right here, but it didn't happen yet. So perhaps something up in the middle of this. And we're already open for business. So let's see what goes on here. I suppose what I'd be looking for is a short up into this gap. And you see that's also the overnight open, and there's a lot of good reasons for this short, I think. But at the moment it is going without us, I guess. Got some decent support down here at 900, of course. The old big brown number. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, we're just going to have to sort of sit back and see what happens. I mean, we've had some awfully big moves over the last couple days, so it's not sure if we're going to get continuation, a relief rally in the opposite direction. I don't know. So I'll be playing this for just some scalps. Now we are getting into some resistance down in here too. Let's see here. All right, so if we go back here, we see there's a gap right there that it ran into, and it is plunging right through it. So, you know, even using the fair value gaps, you have to use good judgment too, obviously. I mean, do we really want to buy into this run down, you know, the old falling knife thing? But at the same time, look at that. It worked just like clockwork. That gap was basically right here. That was the gap from way back here. But it's just a 1 minute gap. I would probably be more inclined to mess around down in here, or perhaps even down here before I start going long. But perhaps I'll take a short up in here somewhere. Yeah, maybe at 3920.25. We'll dabble. Hard to say, but I think it's worth a try. If it ever even gets up there, I mean, it could just hit this overnight open and just reject it. I forget what this is, at the 105. Nope, wrong one. That is, wait, what is going on here? Yeah, the 105 right there. I wish Ninja had a way to just like sort of place labels at the tails of these so I could remember. And maybe I just have too many of them anyway. I think that is the 200. And of course this is VWAP. Yeah, I didn't quite get up to this gap. Yeah, this gap exists on the 5 minute as well, which is nice. I took off these crosshairs that move on all the charts, but I find that I like them. I took them off because for the stream I thought that they were distracting, because when I move one it moves everything, but maybe it's okay. I think I'm going to put them back. I just like seeing them move together so I can line up gaps and pivot points and order blocks and that sort of thing. All right, so what was I doing here? Oh yeah, crosshairs. All right. So hopefully that's not too distracting when you see everything's moving at the same time, but I like it. She is dropping. Yeah, this could go all the way down to 87-ish, possibly. Yeah, 86 and a half looks pretty good for a bottom. This 95 doesn't look too bad either. That's a 1 minute gap, and that's the 15-minute gap. So, perhaps somewhere in this overlap zone or at the bottom of the 1 minute would be right at consequent encroachment for the 15. It's actually, there is a 1 minute gap here that's actually been closed that it appears to be bouncing off now. I think I may take this little short right here. See what we get out of that, if anything. Nice. What was that? I probably should have stuck with it, but I should have. I don't know. That is such a bad thing I do. I mean, that one was a easy 5 points, I think. That was about $200. Man, I wish I would have stuck with that. That is absolutely something I have to work on. So we got in around there, and yeah, 5 points was absolutely right there for us. Now I'm thinking maybe it's going to get hung up here, but this thing is such a strong down trend, and I'm afraid to even take these little shorts. I think I'd be more inclined to take that for a point, because I think it will absolutely do it. I'm not going to take it just because we just came out of a positive trade. I hate to get right back into a bad trade. But we could, hypothetical it. So you're looking at it, let's call it there, and see if we could get even just a point or so. We already got the point. Oh, it didn't actually get in there yet, I don't think. No, I don't think it touched that middle point yet. It would have to get down to here. Now what it's actually doing is rejecting the consequent encroachment of the 1 minute, but it didn't get down to the 15-minute one. I thought the 15-minute one would be a safer trade. We'll find out. Again, I'm not in this trade, it's just hypothetical. Still watching it. Maybe touch it and reverse. And again, as I've said before, the other option is wait till it gets down deeper into this fair value gap, and then go long as it comes back through the center line. All right, so now we've crossed through. This is a 15-minute, so we could theoretically get in here when it comes back, for instance. So then we would get in at 95.25, and it looks like, I think I'd just bail on that. So now it has filled this 15-minute gap, which is sort of surprising to me because the higher time frames tend to respond pretty well. But it is really bearish this morning since the bell opened. Now let's see, what was that next level that I was talking about? That's like right there at 86.75. Let's put a line there, 86.75. So this may end up actually working out anyway to fill that gap. I would have been out of this trade, but let's just say we did get into this. It would be approximately there, and 5 points would be way up there. But again, it seems to me you can just scalp 1.25 points all day long on this. This is very heavy. It's having a hard time even retracing much. But yeah, I guess it's just about confidence because, for instance, this trade, my goodness. There was, even if I just trailed this, it never recovered. It never retraced until, this would have been our last stop, would have been right up here, and it still didn't break it. And we've been down as much as 17 points, and we're still going. It never did retrace to here, so now our retracement would be here. So guaranteed 575, and we're still going. At this point, I probably would have taken a stop here. And that's 875. If we get down to here, that's almost $1,000. Good God, y'all. That's crazy. It was a good trade, bad execution. Although I did get $200 on, and that was 3 accounts, so that's $600 overall all my accounts. So now it did bleed into, there's a couple of 1 minute fair value gaps right here. And that blue line that we had drawn was a 5 minute fair value gap. And an old one at that, all the way to the left. So it seems to be responding to the 1 minute ones today quite well. There's the 1 minute. So that's already over 3 points. So, 1.25, that gets you $50, over $50 even with commissions. Do that 3, 4, 5 times a day and say goodbye to your job. Well, depending on how much you make. So if you did want to wait for that 5 minute gap, you haven't quite made it yet. Let's paint this green. All right, so we would be into this trade. And you certainly made your 1.25 points, but this is super heavy, boy. Yeah, the 1 minutes are responding way better than the higher time frames. Although, like with most things with higher time frames, they have a much bigger range. They swing more, just because they're a bigger time frame, obviously. Whereas the 1 minutes are, they'll move in very quick amount of time. All right, what do we got looking down below? There is not a lot to look at below here. And I got a feeling this is going to drop hard at some point. Maybe our opportunity is in a pullback and then just sit on this thing. Excuse me. Still a little bit of a cough, but way, way, way better than it was earlier in the week. See a pivot point coming up here, but it certainly does not line up with any fair value gaps that are on my chart. I think this was the low of the day or the overnight low. I guess that's low of the day. Current day low. Yeah, current day low. So any rally that they got from that increase in, I think that was an increase in jobless numbers a little bit. This at 8:30 Eastern, that went away really fast. I think I'd like to try to get in here, but I'm just a little nervous about getting trapped. Because the question is just is this just a liquidity grab down here to take it right back up. But if we look at that's the 5 minute. If we look at the 15 minute here, let's see what we got to the left. I mean, you got to go back a long time, longer than I even have loaded up, to even find anything this low. And that's another reason that I'm not, I don't have any fair value gaps on my chart, is because they don't go back that far. I think I'm only looking back on these things, 250 bars or something like that. Which is saying something, because even on the 15 minute, I don't see any fair value gaps for 250. Let me take a look over here. I got a chart here with the higher time frames, like the 1 hour. I gotta reload it, sorry. All right. And as it turns out, that reversal came on a 1 hour fair value gap. I'll put that up on the screen. Pretty big, but that is the 1 hour. Let's see here. And if we draw the center line of that, you can see it ticked. Not only did it tick perfectly through it, but it lined up very nicely with this pivot point here. But that thing dates back, man. That fair value gap dates back to like January 5th or January 6th. That's remarkable. This has now become, let's take all this off. This has now become another fair value gap to the downside right there. Now that could be an opportunity because it's right at the 21 EMA. And there's another one coming up here because this thing came down so fast. Let's take a quick look what our fibs say on this. I'm not sure, maybe from here. So that would be, both of those fibs were in the higher value. I mean the discount area, I guess. Now if we drew this all the way up to here, do have one right there. man, things are starting to get a little messy here. All right, let's see what we got here. Yeah, I'm not sure because of this pullback if the fib should be all the way from the highest point or from where it retraced. But so it did retrace some. I think this is right only because it did pull back almost exactly 50%, whereas if I were to bring it down here, it overshot it. So my guess is that is correct. These really aren't Fibonacci's. I'm just using them for the quarters, 25, 50, 75, 100. So those are not Fibonacci retracement numbers. Those are just a way to mark it off quarters quickly. This is a 1 minute fair value gap that we're sort of stuck in right now. Right around there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the heck was that? Geez, I used the Control V to paste and ended up losing $12. God damn it. That was weird. I was using the Control V just to paste. Apparently there's a hotkey set up for that. Anyway. Let's see here. I think I'm going to try to get out of this. Damn. Go and get down, baby. Let's just get out of this. Here we go. Probably shouldn't have. As it turns out, I was right about it. I got a little panicky. Could have got my point, I guess. Oh my god, I should have got. Oh my god. Ah! Gotta try to trust these trades. In case you're interested, this is what we look like this morning. This area here is interesting only because that may be a place where they're accumulating orders for a big flush down, possibly. look something along. Maybe not. Watch that order block right there, maybe. Man, look at that. That's like a V. Talk about a V bottom. I mean, it never pulled back. It just didn't even fool around at the bottom here. It just went into this 1 hour fair value gap and reversed and never looked back. This is a fairly classic trade right here. Takes off from here aggressively, pull back into this fair value block right here, and away she went. Same thing here, aggressive up, pulls back into a fair value gap, away she goes. Now, what I wouldn't be surprised to see is us make our way up to or near this overnight open and then flush. All right, let's see what we can see now. This may end up just reversing from here. Got a lot of, you got the VWAP, you got the 100 EMA, the 200 EMA. That whole area right there is pretty crowded for going long. But if it breaks through it, I think we're going to get into this area here, and that's going to set up a nice short, I think. Looks like it's going to break down from here. We'll see if a gap sets up in here and possibly take a short. Rejecting that 21, gap is filled there, or a gap never was actually formed, I guess. So did they go down to trap some shorts, or are they now trapping longs? Now presumably the shorts would have their stops somewhere above this line. So if they wanted to do that, they trap the shorts here, take it back here, take out all their stops, and then proceed down. Could be that those stops were predicted to be on this swing high instead of this highest swing high. This bar right here. Kind of messing around in this area right now. Now this does give you sort of the appearance of accumulation, doesn't it? This whole area right here seems to be accumulating something. Now are they accumulating them to go down, or accumulating them to shoot up? My guess would be is that we're taking it down, but who knows? But either way, there's nothing to do at this very moment. We're just going to watch it and see which way it breaks, and then we'll watch our fair value gaps for an idea of what to do. perhaps if a gap forms up in this area here, we could consider a short. But it looks like that may close on us. Maybe not. That'd be something along the lines of this. Let's closing that gap. Nope, no gap formed there. This gap is filled, but oops, no, I don't need that. This gap here is filled, but it still could be useful. It's tempting to take this short at 99.25. Yep, that worked out nicely. 5 points. Let's see if it still wants to work back up this way, though. Well, that doesn't look like that is a trend line. dump that, or it's a breakout of that trend. I mean, we don't have a lot to go on, just a couple of hits here, so let's just get rid of that. Kind of hesitant to buy into this, but if you did, $88.25 would be the place you'd want to go long. I would assume you would get at least a point out of that. These are pretty good sized bars. What's the ATR today? 5.78. That's pretty good compared to what we've been dealing with. And there's your 1.25 points. Bam! This should be green. Man, that turned out to be a bigger trade than I would have anticipated. I mean, man, that ran 10 points. No gap on that thing either for the pullback, unless you were going to go short up here. gap is filled, but it is right at the 21 EMA, which is interesting for a possible short. Didn't quite make it up to the consequent encroachment. See here. There is a 5-minute gap up here that I think I will adjust, because this gap here is now closed. So let's move this 5-minute gap. It's right around there. See, even though this fair value gap right here has been filled, it still responds to it. I mean, it's always going to be a speed bump here. I don't know what's going on here, so I'm just going to stay out until something gets a little more clear. Excuse me. I've been trying to hit the mute button, but sometimes it comes on me too quickly. It's starting to look a little sloppy. All right, here now we're starting to work our way up into that 5-minute fair value gap. The question is, should we take a short off of that? Or is it going to rip right through it and head for this order block up here? And the answer to that question is easy. I don't know. I'm trading with Apex Trader Funding accounts. I have both valuations and funded accounts. If you'd like to participate, I appreciate it if you use my code. Go to apextraderfunding.com and pick the size of account that you prefer and get 80% off until the end of the month, like the 26th or something like that. And doesn't cost, using my code doesn't cost you any more or less. It's the same as anybody else's code, but a little bit comes my way, helps me support this little stream, try to grow it. Appreciate it. Let me put that up there for you. There's the code streaming at the bottom of the screen. You can also find it in the a link in the description. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think we're going up from here. Pass through this. Now it's acting as support. We're above the EMAs. I think this is a decent long right in here at 99. And there she goes. There was your 5 points. I don't think she's done. I think we're going to certainly test this and possibly head all the way up into this order block. Does give you the illusion that they're trying to trap longs here, which is not what I would expect. I would think that we are going long, and maybe that's exactly why they're doing it. I'm a retail trader, and they know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we're going a little long, so they're going to keep faking it on the upside, so I buy into it, and then shama-lama ding-dong, down she goes. That's exactly what they were doing, trying to trap longs right up in here with all these wicks. Wow. We're so predictable, aren't we? Or at least I am. I don't know what it means, but it's interesting how the 9 EMA and the 21 EMA keep crossing each other. Crossed here, crossed here, crossed here, and it appears that they're about to cross again. But yeah, look at that. That is a big old sell-off. Now it looks like it's going to break this apparent trend line here too. Something like that. Wow. Apparently that was a good short. It's not what I thought was going to happen. I really thought we were heading up into this order block up here, but I probably should just get that out of my mind because I don't think it's going to happen. We do have a gap right here now. So this could just be a range, but we did make some lower highs here. So it failed to form a double top here. So does that mean that we are heading down? And you see it bounced off of this fair value gap pretty well. A little premature for the consequent encroachment, but it's not clear to me where they're trying to accumulate. I mean, is it down in here or is it going to be up in here? I mean, there was some accumulation right in here. And did that already play out? Did they accumulate it, take it out, get rid of it? Or are they still accumulating more and they're going to continue down lower? I'm trying to force myself to think in those terms as to where would the market makers, or whatever you want to call them, be accumulating orders, and are they accumulating them to go short or long? So, you know, are we accumulating them here, and then we accumulated some more here, and we're ultimately going to take that down and dump them somewhere? if we break through this fair value gap, I think we're going down pretty aggressively, I would think. Of course, that's what I thought was going to happen up here too. But it is holding pretty well. We have 3 matching lows here. I'll stay live streaming for another 10 minutes or so. While I'm sort of developing these fair value gap ideas and techniques and learning more about them, I'm not taking all the trades, but I hope I'm at least laying them out in my thought process, because you're not going to want to copy my trades either way. So it's just a matter of food for thought. That something that you might be able to incorporate into your own trading. And of course, I look forward to any feedback I can get from you guys, in the form of email or comments as to what you think about it and what you would do with it or what you are doing with it. But in the meantime, my laying out a possible trade is as good as taking it, because what's the difference if I took it or didn't take it? And it's really, the stream is more about the strategy and thinking through the trades and how much I make, how much I don't make, what difference does that make to you or anybody. I mean, it's simply is about the strategy that I think we should be talking about. Again, just go ahead and any comments that you have, put in the comments, or if you want to send me an email, it's journeyintothefutures@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you. They're setting up to do something here. They're even going to rip this thing up, or they're going to rip it down. I mean, that's just, you can just feel something is building here, Those sneaky little mothers are definitely accumulating orders somewhere. I mean, hell, they could be accumulating it in this entire area, and then either rip it up or rip it down. I mean, you and I, we're not going to be accumulating them in a range this big, but maybe they do. I mean, that's huge range. I mean, that's, 25-point range here. But to the big guys, chump change, baby, chump change. Pocket money. I think if we get through this, we're going to see this thing waterfall down. But it seems to be holding strong. I mean, we had a lot of hits on that. Yeah, I'm kind of afraid to take a trade in either direction now until we start ripping. Although I have to admit, I like this area right here. 97.75 for a short for a couple points. I'm not saying it's going to rip down, but I think you could get a point or two out of that. But it's scary because there's a very good chance that they're heading up for this order block here. I mean, this could be exactly where they're accumulating just to rip it. So there's something to consider. A short right here at 97.75 for, let's say, 1.25. So you get your commissions. So you end up with over $50 in your pocket. $50, $58, I think it would come out to. Let's see if that would work for us. And we needed to come back to about there. No, it looks like she's gonna rip. Who knows though? Yeah, this is just a very scary area to be taking any trades. I mean, you can see how this is just sine waving right through this point here. Still didn't get our point, but looks like we might. It's looking a little heavy. Where was that? That is right around there. Nope, we definitely didn't get a point on it yet. It actually chose to go back up into this heavily traded gap here that was actually filled. Yeah, it's ripping. Look at that, baby. Yep, that's where she's going. She's going to up in here. I'd like to even take this trade right here. That's a 5-minute gap. But again, this thing's moving so damn aggressively, I'm afraid to take it. Yep, there's 2.5 points. ATR is still over 5 right now. would think it would work its way up into this order block or even up into here, this fair value gap. And I think after it accumulates some orders up in here, up in here, I think we're going to head back down. So it took out, there's probably was a lot of stops in here, stops up in here, and now there'll be some stops up in here, and they'll get all of those, and then down we go. At least that's one theory. I don't think I would take my word for it, though. Here we go. We're inside that order block now. And we're right back to the overnight open, which is like 39.19, something like that. Right around there. It's overnight open. So all this just to get right back where we started last night at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern. All right, guys. Well, that is 11 o'clock Eastern, so I think I'm going to end this stream, and I'll probably continue to trade a little bit. I don't want to get too late into the day, being a Friday and whatnot, but I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, hit that like button, please. And if you're not already subscribed, please do so, and hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when I go live. I'm trying to be more consistent just because I'm out of my illness now, but you see, look at that. It bounced off right off that middle of that order block. Anyway, have a great weekend, and I hope to see you on Monday.